Can you believe it? Or should I say, can you dig it? The New York Jets just defeated the Buffalo Bills. And for those of you who might not remember, just last night, I went on a little bit of a rant. And what did I say? I said, the game has to be played, baby. The game has to be played. And we played the game. We played the game. We got the turnovers we needed. We didn't make the mistakes. And we managed to pull it off. We managed to beat them. We got so much to talk to and talk about, and we will do that when we get back from this. Greatest co-host in the world! Watch 2K99. Get ready to rumble!
The tag team champions of the world.
My brotherly revenge.
That is the best intro I have ever received.
The world. Buffalo Jets man.
Yo.
George Fant is a barely above replacement level, pretty good left tackle.
How can you say that when he was
an
top 3 in sack percentage last year for left tackles?
And I think when in doubt, until you have better reason, go with the optimistic view. And our defensive line is going to be giving a lot of people some trouble.
But yeah, it's got to be, I'm with you. I don't like the Nathan's fries when they're like floppy. It's got to be like done really well, you know. It's very hard to teach 6'3" and 4.3 speed. That's very rare. The talent's there. He's just got to put it together mentally.
Right.
To get on to you. I'm a cheater. I said, who's the master? Sure enough. I said, who's the master? And the Jets say, I am. Because you got that glow. That's right. The Jets show is in the house. Mark Reese is in the house. Let me find you guys in the chat. I love it. Grandizer, my guy, is here. So he's making it easy to find whatever you want to find. All the links are here. He says those pesky Jets, why do they always show up and play us Bills tough? Pesky Jets, Bills Mafia. I love it. Phil Adams. And to answer your question, I didn't miss it. I saw you ask the question. Yes, I'm going to try to get Lee to do a watch party with me next week to fill in so we can still hang out, even though there's no Jets game. Christopher Merkovich. It's okay to believe in this team. That's right. That's what I said. I love it. I don't know if you're quoting me or you're just saying the same thing I was saying yesterday, but I said, stop. Let the trauma from the past go and allow yourself to believe in the New York Jets. Get on the boat of enjoying this and enjoying watching us compete and be a real football team for the first time in years. Allow yourself, embrace this, because it doesn't always happen. Knobcraft, who did not have to jump off a cliff today. Knobcraft, who made lots of money. Forget about it. He made a lot of money. I don't know the details of how much. I'm thinking 500 again. I close to $3,000, right? Knobcraft, am I off? Something like that. You made about 3,000. Mark Reese, let's go, man. Let's effing go. Mark Reese, the teacher. We got the Jets show enough. Who's the master? Sure look like a master to me. And we have Grandizer still in here going crazy. That was the last time the Jets content creator was allowed on the stream. Oh my God, the Buffalo guy is going to be crazy right now. A-Lab Studios, my man, saying, let's go. That's right. This is a day to celebrate. This is a day to be happy. I'm not even tired. I get up in the morning. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm getting ready. I go on. I'm talking with Green Bean. I go on to this show, that show. And every week I'm exhausted. But this week I am not tired. I'm going to work all day on this channel. I'm going to be here. I'm going to go to Buffalo. We're doing our post-game show late. So in about an hour, we're going to be at the Buffalo Jet Fan channel, and we're going to do the post-game with Buffalo Jet Fan. I'm going to just keep going and ticking like a Timex clock because I am pumped and I'm hyped, and this is a day that we need to spend together, and it's a day we need to celebrate and be excited because we've waited for this for so long. What's up, my brother? Matthew is here. How long have we waited for this? You're ready to come on? I'm going to talk to you in an hour, buddy. In an hour, you're going to be on the Buffalo Jet Fan. I might let you on now, but hold on. Let me see if I can get you the link and everything. But because we should get people in here. Although we're going to be together in an hour, and I don't want people to get sick and tired of our faces. You are Adam. You are my co-host, so you know. It is what it is. Buffalo Wings without look. We got Russell Scarf is here. He's been a follower since the beginning. It's been awesome. Mr. Magix is here. He was here last night. He saw my rant. He said he saw what I did. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out if I can get this link directly to Y2K from my work email. The problem is I don't think I can because he doesn't pop up when I type him into my work email. And no. So I have to send it to myself and then forward it to him. Adam. That's what I'm putting in the title. Adam link. Adam. Okay. I spelled everything wrong because I can't see and I'm blind. Anyway, guys, how awesome is this? How awesome is our life right now? How awesome is it to be a Jet fan right now? No, you're not all good, Adam. Get ready. You better be ready because I'm doing all this right now. I'm doing all this for you. So let me, it just takes time. You know what I mean? I'm doing two things at once. So it's not, it's complicated. Here it comes. Forward. And then it's so funny how technology works. I can put it to my computer, to my phone, and now it's magically going to travel all the way to Y2K99 in Virginia. Isn't that amazing how that works? Oh, I don't have to send them. I don't have to cut and paste it. I just have to hit send. Okay. All right. He should be here soon. But let's talk. Let's go, guys. Let's go. What's going on? A-Lab Studios becoming friends with my brother. A culinary foreshadowing. My brother makes good wings. My brother likes to figure out how to make good things. R&R, what's going on, brother? Matty Jets, what's going on, buddy? How happy are you right now? How happy are you? You going crazy? You sucking down a Budweiser or something right now? Billy SBC in the house. Who told you, Billy? What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you yesterday? What was I screaming about? This is what I love. Look, I don't know how the year's going to end. Oh, Anthony G is here. What's going on? I don't know how the year's going to end. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. Dark Soldier's here. What's going on, brother? No idea what's going to happen, right? Matthew Smith is here. He says, we have arrived. And that's what I'm talking about. I don't know how the year's going to end, but everything we were hoping for is happening. So there's no way this can end badly. I mean, well, knock on wood, right? I mean, injuries and things like that. But look, this cannot become, no matter what happens the rest of the way, negativity. It can't, because no matter what, the run, the nightmare, the disastrous Jets, it's over. We are now the future. This is us. We're now and the future. Take everything that happened before this year and draw a line. We're at the starting line of a new life. That's what's happening right now. Enjoy it. For the love of God, enjoy it. So I don't want to hear any like even if we struggle, there's going to be bad weeks still. We're not going to go undefeated. There's going to be other losses. No more turning on Zach. No more turning on this team. No more turning on this coaching staff. No more turning. We're allowed to, you could be upset without having to call for people's heads and call for people to be fired. You're allowed to be angry, yes, but it doesn't have to be, we have to change everything and everything is lost. We have to stop that. We have to enjoy this. We got the right coach. We got the right coach. We definitely have the right GM. I'm going to already go out and say it. I've watched this team for over 40 years. This is the best GM the Jets have ever had. I'll say it. And it could be argued. But you could argue with me. People could say other names. I don't care. This is the best GM the Jets have ever had. Because in 2 years, if you go back 2 years ago, we were the worst. We had nothing. We were the worst. And now we're 6-3. We got guys like Sauce Gardner. We got guys like Jermaine Johnson. We got guys like Michael Clemens. We got Garrett Wilson. We got Michael Carter. We got Michael Carter II. We got Breece Hall when he comes back. Are you kidding me? We got AVT when he comes back. Are you kidding me? It doesn't end with this GM. It doesn't end. He's amazing. He's the best we've ever had. And he built it out of nothing. In 2 years, out of nothing, he built this. I love it. He built it out of a guy who was unhappy, who was complaining and ripping our team apart. And we traded his egotistical butt to the Seattle Seahawks, and he's done nothing with his career since. And we've taken those draft picks, and we have built our future off of him. And I'm so happy about that. And now I am going to, let me do this because I really want to see what comes out of me right now. So listen to this. He came on to this show a few weeks ago, and he ate 11 plus hot dogs. Yes, he was supposed to eat more, but give me a break. He ate 11 hot dogs right in front of your eyes. I think he finished the 12th when we went off the air. I think he did. He's the Met loving, the Knick lover, the Ranger loving, and especially the New York Jet loving. He's the emotional, passionate, greatest co-host in the world! Watch you K99.
How are you today?
I am feeling
Oh my
good.
goodness.
I am feeling so good.
Somebody pinch me. Now, I will admit to my co-hosts, I will admit to the thousands watching in attendance, eventually, all of you, I did doubt. I doubted the moves that this team was making. But there is no doubt, you cannot deny it anymore. White on black is clearly the way to go. It's all about the white on black uniform.
I saw that.
Oh my gosh. And by the way, how's that? Yeah, the Skycam finally got fixed. I mean, my gosh, if they had lost this game, this would have been known as the Skycam game. I couldn't believe it. It's like the stops, the Mims gets the false start, and then the drive goes no. And Von Miller finally makes his presence felt. I'm like, you can't be serious. This game can it was like I thought it was one of the Belichick cameras. I'm like, is there some sort of conspiracy with the cameras that's gonna screw this game up? And we have a lot to get into. We're going to get into it now. We're going to get into it with Buffalo a little bit later. But the most important thing that I could say, two things. Number one, we will remember this game for years, Jets fans. We will never forget this game. And number two, we now know we are going to have a season that is going to last for a long, long run. And how great does that feel?
I'm telling you, if I was in St. Louis, I would go up to Italy Jet's wife and say, excuse me, you're not going to like this very much. I'd grab Gino, Italy Jet, and I'd give him a big fat kiss right on his lips. That's how happy I am.
You take the lips, I'll take like the right cheek. That'll be enough for me. That's good.
That's how happy I am.
I'd even give J. Cole a hug. I'd hug Mo Dean right now. I'll hug everybody. I feel so good. No. Love everybody here. We might drive each other nuts at times, but my God, this is what we've been hoping for years. And ever since these shows have started to come together, we were waiting for days like this, hoping, praying. We knew it was going to happen one day, but we didn't know when it was going to happen. Well, we have had some wins that have been so crazy. Now we look back even on the Cleveland game, and it seems like a distant memory. We thought that would be the craziest thing that would happen all year. Little did we know what would happen in just the first half of the season.
I'm telling you, this has been such a ride. I remember, I don't know if you remember this, we were all four on Green Bean Show at the end of the show. We were all on, and I said, if we can get to 5 games, I think we're going to get to 5 wins by the bye week. We can have a real run at the playoffs. And Frankie said 5 wins. He goes, we will make the playoffs if we have 5 wins by the bye break. Jeremy, I wish that could happen. Well, guess what? Frankie, if you're out there, we got 6 wins by the bye week, and we're going to the playoffs, baby. I'm saying it right now. We're going to the playoffs this year. I'm saying it. I believe it. We're going to be 7-3 when we beat New England, and everyone's going to be on board because we didn't just win this game. We beat the Buffalo Bills. We beat the Buffalo Bills, baby. We beat a Super Bowl contending team, and we didn't do it through luck. It wasn't just a scrape out of nowhere. It wasn't a miracle. We played toe-to-toe with them the whole game. We played toe-to-toe with them. We played at a championship level. We have the team. And we're only going to get better. We're only going to get healthier. We're only going to get more experience. It's just going to get better and better.
And one of the things, go ahead. It's okay. I'm not stopping you.
I gotta do something right now.
All right.
Because we're not done yet.
Oh.
Okay.
Three's company.
This is a person who never loses faith. He never gives up on this team.
I can rule out a few people.
He fights to convince me and keep me strong and standing. He's believed in Zach, and he's never wavered. He is the bagel eating, the lox eating. Oh, and he eats a lot of lox. He is the salmon cooking, the vegan loving, but not vegan, just protein based or plant based or whatever he likes to say. He's the greatest brother in the world. Please for that.
When you said it was the best brother in the world, I thought Gunny was coming in.
Matthew's gonna kill me.
Hey, I can't stay long. I actually I'm doing an improv show tonight, so I got to go downtown and do a show. But thanks for that intro. I just had to spend at least, even though I have no time, I had to spend 5 minutes with you guys just to celebrate. I just heard what you said. That's exactly right. No excuses. That game was toe-to-toe, pure football, no lucky plays at all in there. We got stripped. We got interception. I mean, that was awesome. That was just an awesome game. Every 10-minute period of it was great.
Yeah.
And it was truly a fight. I mean, because they had to come back. Keep that in mind. We didn't beat them pillar to post all game long. We were down 14-3 at one point, and when this team had to get a touchdown, they got it. They did it. They came back against a team that I was worried if the Bills got ahead in this game by a decent margin, I wondered if the offense could come back. They did exactly that and more. The way they turned it on in the second half especially, wow. I never thought that we would run the ball down their throats the way that we did. I am amazed how good Mike LaFleur, great job today. He's been under a lot of fire. Give him credit.
I don't know if you saw that video I did yesterday. I did a video yesterday, how the Jets beat Buffalo. And I had to score 27-17 Buffalo over Jets. And I went through my 5 reasons, and they did all the reasons. I mean, I didn't do anything. They did it. But, I knew Zach would have a good game. I mean, at least a conservative game. I knew he wouldn't get big sacks. I don't think he was sacked at all. And I knew he wouldn't throw an interception. He wasn't. He was stripped. That was it. But, I I felt like to stay in the game, they had to do the things I knew they could do. The defense had to do what they've been doing, continue to rise. But, I said to win, hey, the defense has to have a big, big play. And I think Sauce's interception was that play. There were some others. I thought Zach had to have a couple of big passes, and he did. And Mims dropped a bunch, but I love the one he came down with when we really needed it. We really needed it. So anyway, I just thought they played the exact game the Jets could play to win, and we won.
Unbelievable. And so this is an interesting statement. Zach outplayed Josh. Now, here's my take on those kind of things. The quarterbacks don't play against each other. They're each facing a different defense. But I think more importantly, what I'll say, Andrew, is that if there's anything that we need to learn moving forward, is that we have to remember that quarterbacks can have bad games. So now we can't sit there and say, if Zach has a bad game in the future, he's a bust just because he has a bad game. Because we just saw Josh Allen throw 2 interceptions. We just saw Josh Allen has a much lower quarterback rating than Zach Wilson today. So every day is different. We play against different defenses. There's going to be good days, great days, bad days. What we need from Zach Wilson is big picture stuff. You got to look at every 5 games that he plays in, and is he progressing, and but you can't judge a guy by one game. So I won't say did he outplay him today? He had a better day today, but both of them are going against completely different defenses. So I'm not going to say Zach beat Josh today, but I will say he had the better day today.
He did.
So today, Zach Wilson.
Not debatable.
Today in the box scores, Zach Wilson was the better quarterback today.
I just want to say today, Josh, our defense beat him. Our defense beat him, right? And the Buffalo defense did not beat Zach. But the difference between Josh Allen today and Zach last week was Zach beat himself. Zach got in his own head and beat himself. And that's the thing that he got rid of. And he needs to get rid of it forever, because those are games a quarterback can really lose for you. I'm just saying Josh didn't get in his own head. And hopefully Zach is done with that crap.
The one thing that Allen did do is he ran the ball well, because he's just a running threat. That is what it is. But if you look at just passer ratings, Allen had a 46.8, Zach had a 101.1. Okay, a 46 quarterback rating for Josh Allen. That is unbelievable.
But that's our defense. That's our defense that gets that.
Yeah.
I'll give you more defensive numbers. The Jets held Allen to his fewest passing yards since week 16 last year, fewest touchdowns since week 16 last year, tied for the most interceptions he's had this year, and his worst quarterback rating since, you guessed it, week 16 last year. The New York Football Jets. Let's say it again.
Yes, baby. Yes, baby.
Jets.
So two things happened. One
out.
is that the defense beat Zach Wilson. The second thing is Zach Wilson beat the Buffalo defense. He did. He made those drives. First of all, the running game was great. The offensive line was great. It takes a team on offense, but he didn't get in his own head, certainly. More than that, he put the ball where it had to be. What do you have, 5 or 6 incompletions? A couple were somewhat dropped.
72% completion.
18 for 25.
Right?
Yep.
0 interceptions. And 2 running plays where he ran for a first down where he did it perfectly.
And did he run backwards?
No running backwards.
Maybe once, yeah.
Maybe
Although
once.
He still needs sliding lessons.
Yeah,
We need to bring in a Met or a Yankee or somebody and teach him how to slide a little bit better.
But compared to every other game this season, he went more forward, way more forward than backward, which is great to see.
It was what we were hoping for. He did exactly what we needed him to do today to win that game.
Yes. Yeah.
Now we'll see if that's enough for some people, or if they still are considering, if he has a bad first half against New England, you better pull him out of the game. I don't want to hear about it. Although I will say I was very surprised when he came back in the game after getting hit. When I saw Mike White warming up, my heart sank. But we had some close calls with injuries. But DJ Reed, DJ freaking Reed. Thank God he's okay. He may go down as one of the absolute best free agent signings the Jets have ever had.
You can just go down the list, though. Come on. The rookies outperform everybody. Everybody played like when we dreamed about how these players can play. That's how they played, and I think maybe a little better than we thought.
Jermaine Johnson, his first game back. How about
Yeah.
Jermaine? How about Bryce Huff?
Yeah.
I just get extra joy out of seeing him succeed. I really do. How many times have we heard over the years, you can only get a great pass rusher in the first round, maybe in the second round? Unfreaking drafted Bryce Huff. And the fact that he was inactive for the first 3 or 4 games this year is a sin. Nothing short of a sin. You cannot bench him ever again. He may be a specialist, but if it's the only thing he does well, he is really damn good at.
I don't know. You gotta give the props to the coaching staff here. They bench people, but I think they're taking command of the team. They're making people that they have questions about prove themselves, and they are punishing people that aren't team players and letting every other player know you get out of line, you're not going to play. You're not going to get the ball. I think you have to do things like that. There, I said it.
Well, look, it's I mean, it makes you think. Like, I don't know what happened and why Bryce Huff was inactive, and then he was, and maybe it's just they needed more time to see it. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, we're 6-3,
Yeah.
and we were 4-13 last year. And what's great is
Wow.
That's not great.
Wow. We're getting Bill's comments here.
I think there was an amazing vote of confidence, in Bryce Huff and Jermaine Johnson both when they traded Jacob Martin for like a simple 2024 swap of a 5th to a 4th round pick. I think that showed saying, we'll take anything. We don't need this guy. It's like we're going to end up having to like lose him anyway and cut him because we're not going to have room for him because we believe in these guys. That Huff is for real. Jermaine Johnson's for real. There's no reason to keep Jacob Martin on the roster. And we went out there. JD went out there and he got something for him instead of just cutting him.
And Michael Clemens had a great point.
I've got to go. I'm going to be late for my show. Go Jets.
Good to see your favorite brother, apparently.
Later, Lee, I'm glad you were able to pop in and celebrate with us.
Thank you.
Good
so we got one Bills fan here. Hey,
you're welcome here.
Bills Mafia. God, we hate losing. Yeah, man. We know. We know
the feeling. We're used to it more than you are.
12 years of losing we had.
You know why we're glad we won the game? Because we respect you that much as a team. We respect your team that much.
Yeah.
So you should be, honestly, don't sound this the wrong way, but you should actually be flattered that we're this happy. This wasn't us beating the Seahawks. This wasn't us beating, you name the team, or beating the Raiders. This was beating a team in our division that was everybody and their brother's favorite to win the Super Bowl, a game where they were favored at 1 point by 13 points to win. And let us not forget that the Bills Mafia tried to take over MetLife Stadium. And there was an absolute sea of blue in that place. The Bills fans came out for this game. From what I hear, maybe about 40-ish% Bills fans. So the fact that we're giving you this much credit, just appreciate it, because you know what? We want to get to where you are. That's our goal, and then to get a little bit further. So, hey, here's to a long Jets-Bills rivalry where both teams are great and the Patriots stink.
Yeah, but it is the greatest compliment to Buffalo that we're so excited, because we weren't this happy when we beat Denver. We weren't this happy when we beat Green Bay, not even Miami, because there were still people complaining. Well, Zach didn't do this, or this didn't happen, or that didn't happen, or we should beat them. But we're so happy because we recognize this is not, nobody can come back, right, and say, well, backup quarterback. No, it was Josh Allen. No one could come and say, well, they're losing to everyone. No, it's Buffalo. It's one of the best teams in the NFL. Still my favorite to win the Super Bowl if I had to pick, or I think it's going to be Buffalo, Philly right now if I had to pick, or Buffalo, San Francisco. So that's the amazing part about this win, is that our Jets just played the best. like we just played the cream of the crop. There's Kansas City and there's Buffalo right now. And in the AFC, that's who it is. It's Kansas City and it's Buffalo.
Right.
And we just went in and we played toe-to-toe. And we played at their level. It wasn't like, oh, it was a freaky thing or something went wrong. We went toe-to-toe and we stayed with them. And and I think the Bills are thinking, wow, this is our competition in years to come. This is the team that we're going to be fighting and battling against over the next bunch of years, because they must see the young players that we have and that this was done with youth and that we're going to be around. And like, that's why we're so excited, because the Bills were a measuring stick for us. Where are we as an organization? Where are we as a franchise? And I think what we've shown is, and we might not be there yet. We might lose some games we shouldn't lose this year. It might end up being very disappointing. We might win. We might make the playoffs. We might lose, whatever happens. I think that this was a stake in the ground that we're here. The organization is for real, because you don't beat the Buffalo Bills by accident. And this is not Jacksonville where they came in asleep. This is a division game. Buffalo came in to play, because there's no way they came in asleep against a division foe.
The Bills definitely did not play their best game today. No doubt about it. They made a lot of mistakes. I mean, as soon as even 2 plays into the game, I was terrified of what we were going to watch. When Braidman slips on the kickoff, and then Diggs absolutely burns Sauce for a huge gain on the first play of the offensive play of the game. But then when Allen throws the interception 2 plays later, I was like, oh my. I was looking for penalty flags, right? I mean, I'm like, what in the world just happened? Did Josh Allen really throw that pass? Did he throw that? Josh Allen, the best quarterback in the world? What? And but the Bills, again, like we said, they pulled ahead, and I can't even get into the analytical side of things right now, because I'm on such an emotional high right now. And the fact that the Jets came back and they took this game from the Buffalo Bills. This isn't a thing where the Bills were, I know they had the 2 turnovers, but it's not as if they were fumbling the ball constantly or making these special teams gaffes. They were making mistakes, but here's the thing. When the Jets were playing really good teams in the past, for the last little while, the Jets never had the talent to take advantage of those teams having bad games. Now they can do it. That is the big difference. The Jets played about as good of a game as they could. The offensive line completely amazed me today. I was not feeling good about that offensive line. They were fantastic, and I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. You could see the numbers when Zach's under pressure versus when he's not. I think at one point he was 13 for 14 today when he had a clean pocket, something like that. I know he had double-digit completions with 1 incompletion. But as this offensive line goes, that will be the rest of the team. I think we trust this defense now. The defense has earned the trust of the Jets fan. Special teams, for the most part, really good. Had a bad week last week. Justin Hardy, of course, had the 1 penalty today. But for the most part, they've done their job very well. They're a top 5 unit in the NFL. But to me, it's all about this offensive line, especially without Breece Hall there to hit the home run. Because now we're relying on a power running game with J-Rob. And by the way, a lot of courage he showed today. Despite the knee injury, he played hard, and he saved his best right when they needed it by driving them down the field on those first 3 runs. Super pleased with James Robinson. But this is now a power team that needs to be conservative. And that's another thing that I loved what Michael Floor did. It was quick reads, get these guys in space, fire the ball. Get the ball out of Zach's hands and get it to the playmakers, the best players on the offense now. That's what they did, and it absolutely worked. And that's how they need to keep playing going forward.
It was fantastic. And this is true, by the way. I called the score.
Look at you.
I called the score. I thought we were going to
Wow.
lose. When I was on the Buffalo, the greatest Buffalo Bills show ever, maybe I forgot the name, or not. I said to him, I think we're going to lose, but if you're telling me I have to make a prediction of the Jets winning, if they win, it'll be 20-17. They won 20-17. And then when they asked me at halftime, I said 20-17, and they said, "You think we're going to hold Buffalo to just 3 points in the second half?" I went 20-17. I'm going to stick with my score. So it's never really. I can't remember that ever really happening to me before, predicting a score of a game. Unfortunately, I didn't bet on it, because imagine that we were able to bet on a specific score, what the odds would be. Betting an exact score.
It's hard enough to get numbers right in the Super Bowl, let alone all 4 numbers. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I probably would have made a fortune.
Oh my God! But we would never have seen you again. I don't know where you would have retired, but I don't think we ever would have seen you again.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just incredible, and he's calling it out right now. So my buddy is calling it out right now.
All right.
Let me find them in here. Whoa, sorry, I got lost now in my, because I got 2 screens. But if you look,
I'm seeing it.
so I was on. If you go to Best Bill's channel or not, if you go to his channel, you'll see that we did a show together on his channel on Friday night. We had a great time. It's really a great show. And the Best Bill's channel, he actually followed his promise. He gave me 20 Jets trivia questions, and he said, if you get 15 right, the Jets win the game.
Wow.
And it came down to the last question, and I got it right.
Now, how hard? And now I know a thing or two about Jets trivia questions, as you may know. How challenging were these questions? Really?
Some were very easy.
Okay.
Like, who do the Jets share a stadium with? And some of them were, he was surprised, and the people that were watching were surprised that I knew it, because of the trivia, because of V-Man and you, I know more than I thought. Like, he said, who's the Jets all-time wide receiver, blah, 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 best wide receiver number.
Right.
And I was like, Don Maynard. And it was funny because it was multiple choice, and I didn't even need the choices. And it's like, well, I hear Jets trivia all the time, so I'm very well aware that Don Maynard is statistically and, numbers-wise, the best wide receiver we've ever had. And there were a couple of Joe Namath questions that were obviously disgustingly easy. And there were some that surprised them, but I just remembered, you know what I mean? Like this player or that player, and I was able to deduct and figure out which player it was just from just being a diehard Jet fan,
So no Rich Castor questions, no Jerome Barkham questions. Is that, come on, Best Bill's channel, you got to bring it. I have trained this man well. You have to understand.
He was going off a sheet that had 18 questions, and then he had to make up questions. So basically what happened is he couldn't make up questions that he knew the answer to that I didn't. So like anything he remembered that he was able to ask me, I remember.
If it had been me, if it had been me, I've been like, who is the only player the Jets have ever drafted from the University of Illinois in the common draft era? That's where I would have gone.
They were like, he was like, one of the questions was like, who knocked out Drew Bledsoe, for Tom Brady to come in? And I was like,
come on. Who is? These are all like the $100 questions on Millionaire. Come on now. The last lifeline, methinks not.
He's right. The last one almost got me. It was really close, and I'm forgetting what it was. You have to watch the show to figure it out, or maybe Best Bills remembers. But the last question came down to it, man. I was squeezed. I was under tons of pressure, and I got it. But it was no picnic. It wasn't easy.
But you got 15 right on the nose then? 15 out of the 20, or?
Yeah. His final question was, what New York Jet quarterback played for Tampa Bay?
Which New York Jet was that? Vinny?
Yeah, but I think of Vinny as Cleveland. So it was really hard for me, and I was like, but it was in my head. I was thinking Vinny because somehow it was in my head that he was played for Tampa Bay, but it made no sense to me because I was like, he was for Cleveland though. But for some reason in my mind, I was thinking
Tampa drafted him. Yeah,
I was thinking Tampa. And I didn't realize that Tampa drafted him. I thought maybe he went there before he came to New York. But I went with it. I went Vinny Testaverde, and it was like, you're right. I was like, he's like, and his own people were like, no. And I was like, okay, I expect you to. You said that means the Jets win. So basically, we know who's responsible for the Jets winning. I get the credit, and we know who's responsible for the Bills losing. That's Best Bills channel or not. He is the reason the Bills lost. All of Buffalo fans can come and take it up with him.
I just thought of one other quarterback. I thought of one other quarterback who's played for the Jets and the Buccaneers.
Yeah, he said there might be another.
Yeah, Josh Johnson. He was with the Bucks. He was with the
Good.
Bucks from 08 to 11, and he had his one great game with the Jets against the Colts. So, yeah,
Wow.
so he's been with, 14, 15. Josh Johnson's been everywhere. He's like, he's kind of a little bit like Josh McCown or somebody.
Wow. Pompeii Jets. I think you're new here.
Hey,
If
Pompeii.
you're enjoying the show, do me a favor, mate, and hit the subscribe button. Watching from Portsmouth, or is it Portsmouth? I'm gonna say Portsmouth, England. Two gutsy calls.
We got a Portsmouth, Virginia, about 30 minutes south of me. It's Portsmouth.
Oh, it's Portsmouth. Okay.
It's Portsmouth. Yeah.
Two gutsy calls. I agree with this. Going for it on fourth down. That we were very excited when that happened. And the fake punt was wonderful. This defense is scary good. Ride them to the playoffs. And
Did you know why
do you know why we're able to do those two plays? Because of we trust our defense.
Yeah.
Right.
I gotta say, I can't explain what it was, but when they were lining up for that punt, I said, I got a hunch they're gonna do something a little bit sneaky here. I don't know why. The way it was lined up. Now I didn't know it was gonna go to Ashton Davis, but the Jets coaching staff knew. Oh.
My wife
just don't put him through a table. I know you say you don't have one, but if you have one, don't put him through a table, okay?
My wife wouldn't be happy.
Hey, Twisted. but they knew, the coaching staff knew they were never going to beat Buffalo by kicking field goals and playing conservative. They had to make aggressive plays both on offense, defense, and special teams. That's exactly what they did. I knew there might be a time that they get burned, but this was one of those risk reward games. They had to go high risk in order to win this game. That's what they did. And that's another reason why I love it, because you have to know when to be conservative and when to be aggressive. And I think this coaching staff, young as they are, they're figuring that out.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
And this was actually another thing. This was the first game that was on locally. Jets game I've had here locally. So I actually have it recorded. So I'll be going back and I'll be able to actually review it, which I have not been able to do all season. So that's pretty stunning. We finally got a Jet game locally here.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick, Fitzpatrick was a Buccaneer too. Yeah.
It's John Nolte. He's saying it's lose the beard week. Didn't you get the memo?
That's not what Manscaped is for, John. I would say this. I don't know. I definitely have a sort of a baby face look if I was to shave. I don't know if I would ever want to. I don't know. I don't know if I want to shave this. I don't know. I don't know. There'd have to be something that would happen in order for me to. I don't know if anybody has any ideas, but I don't know. Maybe if the Jets, I don't know, if they made the AFC Championship game, I don't know. They have to do something though.
You know what? With Garrett Wilson, it's very, very simple. It's literally as simple as use them. You know what I mean? Just
good idea.
Get the kid the ball.
I'll actually give you the numbers on Garrett, because we were worried about the Wilson to Wilson connection. Is it there? In the last 2 games, he has 14 catches for 207 yards. Now he hasn't scored a touchdown, Zach, but you are seeing the connection. He has this connection already with Corey Davis. Now he's getting it with Garrett Wilson, and we've seen that he can have it with Braxton Berrios. So, you know what? With all due respect to Elijah Moore, I really don't care who's getting the targets, just as long as we're moving the ball down the field and scoring points. There's only one football. It can only go to so many people. And you know what? Stick with what works. On that last drive, we stuck with the running game, and it worked. So, Elijah played a lot of snaps. But you know what? That is about the 30th or 40th story in this game.
They were using him as a decoy. I was waiting all game for that play where he'd run behind and do the U-turn around Zach.
Right.
He did that like 4 or 5 times and nothing ever came of it. And I was like, eventually something's going to happen. And it never did. But believe it or not, he might not believe it. Elijah Moore might not believe it, but he contributed today because Buffalo was waiting. They were setting it up that they were going to do something with Elijah today. And he was a decoy. He was pulling safeties. He had them thinking. He was part of it. He really was. I don't know if he's going to believe it or feel that way, but he really was. They were clearly using him as a decoy because I think that they probably were expecting something to happen at some point, and it just never did.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, Andrew, what did he do? He got his steps in. I hope he was wearing a Fitbit because, yeah, he was running all over the place and he had a lot of snap counts, but he was never targeted one time in this game. So, yeah, I mean, Garrett had 8 targets. I'll just go through the targets here. The targets. So Garrett had 9. Can you believe Denzel Mims had the second most targets on this team? He had 4 targets. That was second most. CJ had 3, Conklin 2, Berrios 2, Robinson 2, Jeff Smith 1, and Michael Carter 1.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. But, it was working. And, who knows how many Corey Davis would have had. But I'll tell you this. The Bills not having Jordan Poyer in this game and having Matt Milano, yeah, their defense, especially their pass coverage, was not the same at all.
Yep. But they had normal injuries that teams go through, and we have injuries that teams go through, right? So it was like, I never expect when we play a team to go against their original opening day healthy roster because the NFL doesn't work like that. By week 9, both teams are going to be missing players. And we never have to feel bad. Oh, we only beat them because of this or that, because look who we're missing. We're missing maybe the best running back or the future best running back in the NFL or a top 5 NFL running back. We're missing AVT, who I think is already a top 10 offensive lineman in the NFL, if not higher. We're missing some serious talent, but we were able to pull it off. They were missing some serious talent. They weren't. So, but yeah, it's like it's better than we have all these injuries and we have to play a completely healthy team. I'm glad that it was somewhat balanced and that other teams have, to keep it even and give us a chance, that other teams have to deal with injuries too.
Oh, most definitely. I'm just checking the chat. Really quick here. They're keeping more in check with Mims. Well, I don't think that's something you could do. The bottom line is this. If they're on the field and Zach sees the opening and that's where he wants to throw the ball, that's where he's going to throw the ball. I mean, Zach isn't going to have any kind of vendetta against these receivers. He's going to throw to who he's most comfortable with. And right now that's Garrett Wilson. And there's nothing wrong with that. Somebody's not going to get a whole lot of touches. And that's just part of the deal. But if the offense is working, then you take that. You accept it. This isn't Madden where you want to make sure you get like 2 or 3 targets for this guy, and this just isn't how that's gonna work. Hey, Ablab, good point with Jamie and Sherwood. It was great to see him get him some defensive snaps. You could see that little bit of speed. You could see that explosiveness. Certainly, we're glad CJ's okay, but I'm definitely glad that Sherwood got his opportunities in this game.
I think that it shows that. I mean, it's going to be important at the end of the year, when draft comes around, and it's like the fact that we were able to see Sherwood and see that he's looking really good, and it takes away that pressure of maybe we don't need to draft a linebacker, or maybe we don't have to draft one in the first 2 rounds because look how good Sherwood looked today, and if he gets any more opportunities to play, that's a great thing. And and Quincy's played really well, and Quan's been good all year. We have linebackers, and they seem to be good for once the defensive line came together and are doing what they're supposed to be doing, which we're predicated on that getting to the quarterback. Everything else seems to be falling in place. I do think we're going to need another safety because LaMarcus, as well as, even though he's come back and played much better than in the beginning of the season, right, he is. He's up there in age. He's like 30 years old. So, I mean, we're going to have to get a safety on the defensive side of the ball. But I think Sherwood's rise and his good play takes the pressure off linebacker. It doesn't mean I'm saying we're not going to ever pick one in the draft, or we don't need one, or we're not going to always try to improve at every position. But it certainly takes the edge off when you see Sherwood play so well, that we have something lined up for the future in the linebacker position.
Just because a guy isn't getting a lot of meaningful snaps does not mean he's a bust. It does not mean he's a failure. And I want to apply this principle to Jeremy Ruckert as well, because right now there just isn't room for him to play. I did a short video on this this morning when the inactive list came out, and the bottom line is this: Kenny Yeboah was promoted. he has played as many special team snaps as anybody on this roster. That's not something Ruckert is going to do. So when you have a 2 tight end offense, that third spot is for Brant Boyer to decide. And right now, he trusts Kenny Yeboah in that spot over Jeremy Ruckert. That doesn't mean next year that Jeremy Ruckert won't be a major contributor on offense, but now's not his time. But just because his time isn't right now does not mean that he's a failure of a player. And that's something we need to remember. Not all of these guys are going to be Sauce Gardner, or Breece Hall, where they come in, hey, Gerald, you guys had quite a game. Yeah, today. That Jags Raiders game was pretty competitive. It was quite a comeback.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Jags
that
go ahead. Jags are going to be part of the future of the AFC for sure. So it's going to be a rivalry for us. You know, the Jags are not going to be an easy game ever. I don't think in the upcoming years. I think we're going to have some good battles with them. So congratulations to Gerald and his team too.
Yeah, you know what? That was probably the toughest game for me to call this week, because going into this game, the Jaguars and Raiders were a combined 1-10 in one-score games. It was. It's like, who wants to give it away the least? But you know, whoever didn't win that game, you had to feel was just going to be pretty much done. So hey, and when the Jaguars come to town, the Jets will be wearing their black uniforms under the bright lights of Jet Life Stadium. So it's going.
When do they come? Is it a night game?
Yeah, that's the Thursday game. That's the Jets Thursday.
Wow! They want to feature Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I think it's right before Christmas. I think it's Christmas week. We don't play Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, whatever the day is. But yeah, we don't have to play on Christmas because we play the Thursday prior.
They want so bad for that to mean something, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, but it doesn't, because every NFL team that needed the quarterback, if they had the number 1 pick, would have taken Trevor Lawrence. There was nobody saying Zach Wilson. If there's any rivalry brewing or something you want to make a big deal out of, it would be Zach Wilson versus like a Justin Fields, or in our own division, Zach Wilson versus a Mac Jones. But you're not going to get any kind of there's no real rivalry between Zach and Trevor, because it was never really a question. Everybody agreed that Trevor was the number 1 pick. And then probably about 60% of the GMs agreed that Zach was the right second pick.
But you could promote draft pick number 1 versus draft pick number 2
and have fun with it. Yeah. I'm just saying
that appeals to the masses. Yeah. That's going to appeal to a mass audience.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's more like the Justin Fields is like the real one, because it's like that's the one. If we didn't take Zach, we would have taken Justin Fields. You'd have to think. So that's like that's the one. You know what I mean? Like that's the one where it's like that's the guy that we could have had. You know, so like if Zach does bad and Justin Fields goes crazy and rises to be a huge star, that's the one where everyone's going to say, "See, we should have taken him."
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields can run the ball. I mean, he's definitely like a poor man's Lamar, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, how many big wins has he really rallied his team to? So, you know, the verdict is definitely still out on these quarterbacks. It doesn't look like it's going to go down as the class of '83 or anything like that. But yeah, but it was really annoying me when, you know, I was hearing the bus talks this week where there was the debate, is Zach a bust? I mean, did they take the wrong guy? I'm like, well, if they took Zach and he's the wrong guy, who's the right guy? Because I'm not seeing any of these quarterbacks behind him stepping up and proving to be like a top 10 worthy quarterback. So it was that kind of a talk that was just ridiculous. And believe me, I kept those receipts too. There were 2 or 3 radio hosts who I made sure to tweet and say, hey, Zach just kicked Josh Allen's ass, basically. I may have been pushing it a little bit, but Zach absolutely outplayed Josh Allen, and there is no way around it. Oh, one of the hosts, a guy out of Detroit, who I actually like. I actually think he's quite good. He said, you will not see a bigger quarterback mismatch all year in the NFL than Josh Allen versus Zach Wilson. I think that margin just got a little bit closer. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. Oh, it feels so good.
It does feel really good.
You know what you're actually going to do later?
By the way, sends out the best pictures.
Oh my God.
When he's at a game, he just, because he goes over and he approaches all the Bills fans. Like, look at this one.
Yep, that was the one. And they kept buying him beer, and I'm like, they should be.
They were buying him beer?
Yeah, they were buying him beers. I think they said they brought him 3 or 4 beers. I'm like, well, that's a good appetizer. knowing Nick.
You know he likes that.
Oh, I know he did. I know he did. I give him credit. You know, he is like super, super engaging. I will say this: if I was a fan of the other team, he's about the last guy I'd want to see.
I know, right? It's
Oh, I'm so glad he's on our side. Field goal by Suckup, 13-9 Rams, 8:07 to go in the fourth quarter. So on a side note. Was that Quinnen or Quincy? I thought Quincy was nearly.
I thought it was Quincy.
I thought it was. I thought it was 56. But when you looked at the numbers upside down, at first it was Quinnen, but then when he sat up, I'm like, that's Quincy.
I thought for sure it was Quincy that we were worried about, but then I saw Quinnen was involved too, so I was like, which was the one that was down? I couldn't make sense of it because I have no volume. And Green Bean screaming, oh no, and I don't know what's going on because I'm 10 seconds behind them, so the whole thing was messed up. All I know is that we made it out alive. Everybody's okay, and that's good. Somebody said that Josh Allen looked rattled like he was a rookie. Billy, I think it was. You know, that's just all the evidence of why you can't judge Zach too harshly or Justin Fields or any of these guys, because it's all situational. Like even the best quarterbacks, when they don't get the protection they need or you're covering their receivers really well and things go wrong, all quarterbacks in the NFL could look really bad. It's really hard to be successful and be good in the NFL as a quarterback if you're not getting good, strong pass protection and your guys aren't getting open. Otherwise, you're set up to look bad. So I hope people remember that when Zach struggles sometimes. And because there were even plays where in the chat people were turning on Zach, like, oh my God, get rid of the ball. He stinks. And it's like, then they showed in the replay, everybody was covered and he threw the ball away. He did the right thing. And people were still criticizing him. You know, so people have to realize that it's not so easy.
I can't knock his decision making today. He had a few throws that were off. You know, the pass to Mims that was high. It did go off both of his hands, but Zach had to throw that pass a little bit lower. You could put the blame on both of them if you want. But while we're talking about a guy almost getting taken out, one thing that, the play that maybe bothered me the most in this game was on the Jets' last drive of the game when they were going down for the go-ahead field goal. And it was 2nd and goal at the 8-yard line, and Zach did the left end run towards the sideline, and he clearly got hit helmet to helmet. It was not debatable.
Yeah,
it didn't get called, and and it only would have been a 1-yard difference, but it would have been first down instead of third down. Now, I know the Jets were able to overcome it, but if the Bills go down the field, that to me would be one of the biggest plays of the game. The fact that Zach did not get that call, that the Jets didn't get that call, shows me they still don't have the respect. And hopefully they're getting closer to earning that, because if it's helmet to helmet, it's friggin' helmet to helmet. It doesn't matter if it's Aaron Rodgers, if it's Tom Brady, if it's Sam frickin' Ellinger, okay, in the helmet. It's helmet to helmet, regardless of what team it is. And they did not enforce the rules equally, I thought. I thought the refs, for the most part, did a good job. I thought they stayed back. They did not try to take the game over. But their lack of call there really upset me. Was that something that you and Green Bee noticed on your show?
I have to look at it again, though. But I thought, because someone's saying in the chat, and I thought when I looked at it, the replay, in the beginning, and I think that's what the confusion is. And the first contact with somebody, there was shoulder.
First was the shoulder, then came the helmet.
I clearly saw
the two contacts.
I saw really clear a second contact where a helmet went into Zach's helmet.
Completely.
And I'm not saying that I agree, because I don't like tons of penalties in football. So I think there are people here who they don't have the reference of what we're talking about. I'm not saying that should, by the rules, definitely be a penalty. What I'm saying is, if you saw, and me and Adam are going on this, so I'm talking to you, Tim, against the Patriots last week, CJ Mosley was in midair. He was diving to tackle, was it Mac Jones?
Yeah.
And Mac Jones lowered his head so that Mosley's helmet hit his helmet, and they called a roughing on us, or, unnecessary roughness. And that's
excess tackling.
Excessive tackling. But anyway, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're mad at. It's not a matter of, oh, they should call a penalty on that. We want penalties called all the time. It's that we feel as Jet fans that we have these calls go against us on our guys, but then it's not equal. It doesn't happen to the other team that we play. And that's what we're complaining about. Technically, you know, I think unless they viciously go helmet to helmet, sometimes the helmets are going to touch. I don't think it should automatically be a flag. I think it's very clear when guys are trying to hurt each other, but I do think you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent. And for the Jets, from our perspective, the referees are not being consistent. Would you agree with that, Adam?
I definitely think that is true. And I never want to be the type to say, oh, the officials stink or whatever this, because it's a very easy thing to say. Put it this way. I felt that the John Franklin Myers roughing the passer call against New England was a correct call. Based off the way that the rule is written and the way that it is defined, I didn't have a problem with that call being made. The problem that I have is if that had happened to Zach Wilson, if it's Matthew Judon coming around the corner and knocking Zach in the next week, would the Jets have gotten that call? I would probably say they would not have gotten it. And that's where I have the problem. And that's why, honestly, even if it slows the game down, if you had a certain number of penalties you could review, if some of these penalties were reviewable, I think that's only right. You know, I know we don't want too much replay because it could slow the game down, but you know what? That was a call that could have completely turned around the Jets season. And if they had lost today to Buffalo, which just about everybody and their brother thought was going to happen, you know, all of a sudden the Jets are 5-4, not 6-3. And then you have the whole bye to think about this, trying to not go down to 500. That call could have turned around the entire Jets season. Thankfully, they overcame it. But that is why I think those types of moments are so pivotal that you should be able to review a certain number of them per game. Some of those penalties should be challengeable.
So we have a show to do in about 7 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I haven't seen the link yet from him, but sometimes he sends it very late. I would like to run down and get some Cheez-Its and a snack or something in between. I don't want to jump from one to the other. So, guys, I'm going to end it just so you know. Aside from, if you haven't, please subscribe to New York Sports Wikimedia. Adam's working really hard, creating a lot of great content. His videos are getting better and better. So make sure you sub to New York Sports Wikimedia. Do it right now. And we are both going to be, you're going to be on, right? You're part of that. So
yeah, I'm good to go.
We're going to be on the post-game show. It was supposed to be right after the game usually, but this week it's been delayed. We are going to, you could see us both at 7:15 Eastern in about 5-6 minutes, unless the show's a little bit late. You'll see us at Buffalo Jet Fan with Talking Jets with Tigo and Buffalo Jet Fan. And we're going to be on the panel talking about this game and continuing this conversation. So everybody might want to jump over there, grab a snack. But I'm going to get out of here right now so we have time to get over there. So take care, everybody. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for being here. I could always guarantee, but even though it didn't happen last week, we'll see you on Wednesday for sure, maybe even sooner. We are live. We got Harry W. We got Richie from Jets Media, Matt O'Leary, Iowa Jets fan, in the house. We got Dom C in the house. We got Steve, live, CEO of the Jet Lounge. So I knew I'd get rich on my channel. See what's going on. Yeah, there we go.
Jets by 1 million today.
Yeah.